So here's a question for you. Did Jesus teach others to meditate? I often see the Christian faith can be very against it, but something tells me he did, but somewhere it was lost in translation or removed from his teachings. He did not label it as meditation. He labeled it as quote unquote sitting in love. And when you think about this, when you hear me talk about it, or you've heard me guide meditations, I'm always talking about getting to the feeling, that love feeling, and sitting in love. And he talked about sitting in that love and just feeling the love of God, because he truly believed that God was love. And by sitting in love and the feeling of love, you were communing with God. And he did this often. And he also would, as he would walk through villages and towns, he would come in and out of that deep feeling of love. And he would, pardon me, oh, God. It's a boring conversation. No, I'm kidding. He would have these deep feelings of love, and he would amplify his love when he would get into a crowd, and so people could feel it. They could feel the energy coming from him, and were drawn to him. That's when you listen to my regression, which is available on my website. But if you listen to my regression, I literally say, before I even get near him, I can feel him. I can feel his presence, because he's emanating that love, and that in modern world we would call that charisma. Somebody just walks in the room and they change the room. That's the feeling of love. That's the feeling of, goodness and greatness just around you, and that feeling of love, right? And he would go and he would just sit and bathe in that love, sit in that love. And he didn't call it meditation. He didn't call it any of the other names. He really thought of it as sitting with God. And when you think about the idea of just sitting and feeling, and the easiest way to do this, and the easiest way to get to this space, is to sit down. First of all, exhale, relax, because fear is held in the body, in our lungs. We hold air in so we can run further and faster in a fear state. So first of all, let all the air out. Let it all out. And then once it's all out and your body's relaxed, think of a totally joyful moment. Think of the moment that you felt loved, or you were laughing heartily. And every time you have one of those feelings, there's a physical sensation in the body, a little tingle. It makes you feel great. And when you think about those moments, you'll tap into that feeling. Start to recognize that feeling. Because when you recognize that feeling, that is the feeling of God. That is the feeling of love. God is at the bottom of every breath. God breathes you. And so when you stop hindering the breath with our fears, you literally tap back into source. And then just find that place where you're totally relaxed. And you start to feel that feeling, that sensation of no burden, no stress, no anxiety. And just keep breathing, and suddenly you'll start to feel it like tingle, and your goosebumps will raise. And next thing you know, you're touching the source. You're touching that vibration. You are sitting in God. You focus on that feeling, and just hold on to that feeling until it subsides. And, the first time you may do it, it may last 10 seconds. The next time it might be 30 seconds. And you can keep doing it, and the times will last longer. And that's what meditation was for Jeshua, sitting in love, sitting in God. And so when you think about meditation, and he did his fasting, and he fasted often, because he often sat in love and would just miss meals, right? And sometimes he would go off and he would, sit in love for days at a time. And because he was experiencing that source, that consciousness. And when you're in that source state consciousness, food becomes irrelevant because you're in that space, and that space is everything. You're in God. God gives everything. So that's my thought on did Jesus teach others to meditate? He taught us to sit in love, and that's a form of meditation. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye.